Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a non-John Deere Classic related video for the first time in quite some time. It's been an unbelievable couple of weeks from my perspective. 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, however long ago it was, John Deere Classic had a whole lot of stuff to do. You saw a lot of it on the channel. A lot of it was outside the channel with Twitter and just stuff for the tournament in general that I had to get done. Then on Monday, I got in a car accident, have been really sore, have been loaded with chiro appointments and everything such as that. Don't worry, I'm okay. The car is not. And then also, that's something that's been going on these last 2 weeks, is a big surprise that hopefully I'll be able to share in the next month or so that I'm really looking forward to showing and telling you all about. But I will share that information when I am able to. But today, the reason we are here, it is MLB Midseason Rankings. We're just over the halfway point of the MLB season. 6 games past the All-Star break, and we're just right before the MLB trade deadline. A lot of things going on. I'll give my opinions on how teams have been performing so far this season, and we start with the New York Yankees. Now, this is one where, like, if the Yankees were in the NL Central, they'd probably be getting a A or a B because of the way that division is. But the Yankees just have not performed the way that, number one, they expected to, and number two, that it requires to have success in their division. And that's why I'm going to be putting them in a C. They're 50-46. Hopefully Aaron Judge is nearing a return. We'll see what happens there. The Seattle Mariners, an improvement year again. They're right at 500. Last year they had an improvement year. I think they were a little disappointed, though, just staying at 500 this year. So that's why I'll put them at C. The Rays, solid season for them. They're 5 games up. They're 60-39. I guess I'll be nice and put them in an S. Now, the Blue Jays, good year for the guys up in Canada, 53-42. They are 5 games back in the very difficult AL East. But I think that they put themselves in a good spot heading toward the trade deadline. The Marlins, what a surprise they have been in the NL East. They are 10.5 games back, but they're 53-45, trailing the very difficult Braves and the Phillies. I think coming out of the All-Star break, they've been a bit of a letdown. I think I'll put them at B. This team's been the biggest letdown in the major leagues. The Cardinals, nothing else said. As Cubs fans, I'm not upset, though. Hate the Cardinals. Astros, 52-43. What else is new? They're in the A category. Braves, an undebatable S. They argue. It's been unarguable, if that's a word, that they are the best team in the majors. Orioles, what a season for Baltimore. They lead the American League East. They're 58-37. I got to put them in an S because that's a big step for Baltimore. Now the Cleveland Guardians, they are 2 games under 500, but somehow still only 2 games back in the NL Central. Just a B, right around 500. But in their division, that's why I put them over the Mariners. The Mariners have a better record, but in their division, the Guardians have put themselves in a spot to compete. Rockies, another season that we just don't want to talk about. 18 games back at 37-58. Tigers, same story, 10 games under 500. I'll put them at a C. Royals, don't need to say anything about them. They're 28-68, 21 games back in an awful AL Central. They're in the D. Brewers lead the NL Central, not a very strong division. That's why they're at an A, but still playing some good baseball. Angels with Shohei Ohtani, they've been looking good. But 9.5 games back of the West, right at 500. They need to get hot going down the stretch. The A's, we all know their situation. They're at D. Phillies, they are in a very competitive NL East, and they are second behind the red-hot Braves. The Pirates, good start to the season. They've kind of fallen off since, and they are now last place in the NL Central, if you can believe that. They are now behind the Cardinals at 10.5 games back at 52-54. I put the Cardinals at D, maybe because they were a big disappointment, but if you're just looking at records, I think the Pirates belong in D too. They just have not been putting the pieces all together. Padres, again, they've got every piece you could ask for, but are 5 games under 500. They are at a C. I mean, I could almost put them at a D just because it's been so disappointing. But I'll put them at D. Big time surprise, or maybe not for some, but we have not seen the Rangers at the top of this board the last few years, but they are 5 games up on the Astros in the American League West. They're 58-39, 6-game winning streak coming out of the All-Star break, and they just completed a sweep of the Rays moments ago. The Boston Red Sox, 500 season, I'd say, 51-45, so I guess a few games over 500, 7.5 games back in that very good AL East. They put themselves in a spot to compete. They're right in the mix. They need to get hot heading toward the trade deadline. That's why they're at a B. The San Francisco Giants. I like the way they've been playing in that NL West. They are 1 game back of the Dodgers, 54-41, and I think I'm actually going to put them at an A because that's not an easy West to win. But the Giants have put themselves right there. Dodgers also there with the Giants. Just 1 game separating the two. That's why Dodgers join them in the A. Diamondbacks. Love this team. 2 games back in that West as well. So that'll be a very fun race to watch going down the stretch. All 3 of those West teams right in the A category. Mets, they're a D because they're, again, this might be the biggest disappointment in baseball other than the Padres and Cardinals. Another team with all the pieces. They're 6 games under 500, 17.5 back in the East, and they are going to be sellers this trade deadline without a doubt. White Sox, unfortunate season. They aren't getting any help from Tim Anderson. Has not been able to put the ball out of the ballpark. 16 games under 500, 9 back in that Central. They're only 9 back. If they can get on a winning streak, they might be competitive. But it's just not looking like it's happening. And the way that their division is, that's why they're up at a C. Twins lead that division, 49-47. They've done enough to lead, but they definitely are not one of the sharpest teams in baseball. That's why they're at a B. The Cubs, disappointing year. My Cubs, they had the pieces. Big win last night, 17-3. They need to get hot if they do not want to be sellers once again. Same boat for the Nationals. It looks inevitable, whatever that word is, that they will be sellers. I guess it's obvious. They're 24 games back, 38-57. Rough year. They're a D. Cincinnati Reds coming out of the All-Star break. They got a little cold. Still, they're right in the mix. They're only 2.5 games back in the Central, but they're 50-46, only 4 games over 500. That's why I put them at a B. I still have not been all that impressed by the Reds. They did go on that huge winning streak, but it was interesting to see how they responded out of the All-Star break, and they have not had a good response. But we will see if they can get hot. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. That's my MLB Midseason Rankings as we approach the trade deadline.